In the unit circle, we know that x squared plus y squared is equal to the radius squared. And if I throw in a number like 3 squared, we can see that radius show up at a length of 3. I'm going to shift our x scale by clicking on that wrench and changing the step to be 1 and maybe toggling off those minor grid lines so we can see this a little bit more clear as I zoom in. What we can do if we really, really wanted is we can even make this radius a little bit more dynamic and say that it's 3, but change the equation for the circle to be based on a slider value of r. So I'm going to also change the limits of this r value to go from 0 until maybe just a 5, and I'll even skip values and they'll jump 1. So as I slide this around, it'll jump between a radius of 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So I'm going to keep this at 3 for just a moment. And with our knowledge of the unit circle, the hope is that we can place a point on the circle. I could say the location of a point is 3, 0. As I move this around, I do see that that point really isn't fixed on that circle, but I can put a point somewhere on that circle and label this something like 3 if I really wanted. And if I click and hold on that point, I can change its color from purple to black. I can change the label size to be something more like a 3, and even change its position with this arrow to the right and say it's a position on that right of that 3. So with this, I also have the ability maybe to say, I want that point to be attached to the circle. And with that, I need to say, well, what's the location of a point on a circle? And so we might want to say something like the x value is cos of theta. And I might make this theta 0 degrees for just a moment. And I might make this y value sine of 0, which puts us on the right side of the unit circle. But technically, this is only a unit circle if the radius is 1. So I might need to stretch these values out so they're attached to the radius. So if the radius is 3, it is stretching this point to be 3 units further around the circle. And if I wanted to change this so it's not fixed at this single point here at 0 degrees, I might need to change this angle so it's not always 0. And I might make a slider here to say I want to make this angle different. So I can start initially by saying, let's move this to 30 degrees. And we have to make sure that we are in, click on the wrench, 30 degrees. And so now this is actually at 30 degrees. And if I really wanted, I could make a slider value. Let's call it angle A. And I can make this angle A go from a 0 to 360 degrees. And maybe we can even jump it at a step of 5 degrees, 30 degrees. Let's go with 5 degrees. And I'll make both of these rotation A. So as I slide this around, it's jumping by 5 degrees as we rotate around. Your task is to try to build a clock that looks something like this. You can turn on and off the grid, the axes, the numbers, and things like that. But can you make a line and another line for the minute and the hour hand that goes to a time like 3:05? The second challenge is if you can use sliders, and this is a little bit more work, can you make sliders that actually change the time as you drag the angle around? Start with something like 3:05, and if you can, try to make an actual time.